Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast with your host, Chris. I am, as always, the host and that guy who is talking right now. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 219, I believe. I believe that is the number. That is the number. That is correct. As always, if you would like to show me some love, because I could use some loving, some sweet loving right now, head on over to iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, or Radio Public, and leave me some nice comments. Or if you'd like to chat with me, you can find me on my Twitter and Instagram, both at castingfor2. My email is castingfor2@gmail.com. And, of course, I have to talk about Sunday Brunch, which is the other podcast that I do with the always beautiful, lovely, talented, amazing person that is Megan Johnson from tipsywriter.com every Sunday, and you can find it on those things that I said earlier, those podcast providers. And, of course, Comic Bento. Get yourself a subscription. Comic Bento is a monthly graphic novel subscription service. If you use the promo code CASTING2, you get $5 off your first order. Courtesy of me, you're welcome. And that is the word casting and the number 2. I have to talk about my guest today because I have a wonderful guest. His name is Benno Rosenwald, and he is a wonderful producer who's producing just groundbreaking short films, in all with the LGBTQ vibe to it. And it was a wonderful time chatting with him because I love where he's coming from. I love his passion for filmmaking, and it's very infectious. It really is. So I should stop talking and let's listen to this episode. So sit back, relax, and Chris, cue the music, please. Yourself?
I'm well, just trying to get all this stuff done.
I hear you. Today's been crazy because I'm going on vacation tomorrow.
Oh, lucky you. Where are you going?
I'm going to Oregon.
Oh, hey. Portland?
Yeah. I'm from Salem, so it's kind of
like homecoming.
Exactly. I haven't been home in 3 years, so.
Okay, well that's amazing that you're going to be able to go home.
Yeah, it's just for a bit, but leaving is going to be another thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, because right now I'm in Texas, and I love Oregon.
Where in Texas are you?
I'm in San Antonio. It's
okay.
It's 45 minutes away from Austin.
Yeah, so you're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
You're not in Houston.
Oh, you're saying weather-wise, like
yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's I'm far away from everything, so.
Well, Texas is so big. The last time I was in Texas, my grandmother, who was a psychologist and used to travel all over the place, she lived in Orange, Texas. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been there?
No.
Orange, Texas is literally, there's a Pizza Hut and a Walmart, and that's it.
There we go. Okay.
That is Orange, Texas.
Okay. I wonder if that's still all they have.
Maybe not. I bet the Pizza Hut's no longer existing.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe they have a Chinese food place now.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Progress.
You have to figure it out.
Yeah. No, it's funny because when all the tsunami and the hurricane stuff was happening, people, my friends were messaging me, "Am I all right? Am I all right?" And it's just, I appreciate all the messages I get. I am 100% fine because I am nowhere near any of that.
Yeah. It's a huge state. People, we just don't have like any type of sense of geography.
Right. And it's funny because my BFF, she's from Atlanta, and she always says, how she grew up Southern and stuff like that. And me, I go, you didn't grow up South. And she's,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, Georgia's to the East Coast.
Right.
South is like technically Florida is the South.
Yeah.
And she always, Chris, whenever I say that, but it's true.
Yeah. We have it's the same thing about California. I grew up in California, and we're like, Northern California is San Francisco, but you look on a map, and San Francisco is in the smack dab middle of California.
Right. It's like you need to be closer up to Oregon to be Northern California.
Right. You have to be in Eureka.
Yeah.
Northern California.
See, you and I get it. We play by geography rules,
Exactly. Well, I try. I just have to find a map.
I would also say the Midwest, Chicago, is not in the West. All right, people?
No.
Not at all.
If you can get from Chicago to New York in 2-hour flight, it's not the West.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I would say Montana is Midwest.
Yeah. Montana, Idaho.
I mean,
I would say like maybe Minnesota, like the western part of Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah. I could get behind that. Yeah. But not the Dakotas, because nothing ever happens in the Dakotas.
Well, I always forget that they exist.
Exactly.
I always forget. My best friend is from South Dakota, though.
Oh, okay.
And the thing that I know about South Dakota is that's where my credit card bill comes from. Okay. And most people's do. From Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Interesting. So, okay, I guess, maybe South Dakota has some stuff going on for it.
It has like 3 buildings in Sioux Falls, apparently. For Bank of America, at least.
I bet they have a couple of Walmarts and Pizza Huts there.
Oh yeah, probably. That's how you gauge a city. How many Pizza Huts are there, and how many Walmarts?
I feel like the smallest city, no matter where you go to, will have a Walmart.
Exactly, it has one or the other.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's how it is. So as you can tell, this is a loose show.
Yes.
Where we talk all about geography.
Perfect. I mean, who doesn't want to talk about the Iraq and the maps needing for children?
There we go.
But yeah, that's my favorite Miss America quote. If you don't know where it came from,
I don't. What's how?
Remember that Miss South Carolina? Miss South Carolina. I think it was like 2008. They asked her, "What would you do about education in America?" And in terms of the Middle East, and she gave an answer of, I would give maps to children so that they could find the Iraq.
What, she wasn't blonde, was she?
She was, and she was on The Amazing Race.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah. She was a little famous there for a bit.
Yeah. I mean, like it went totally and utterly viral.
Gotcha.
Like, insanely viral.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? She has a point. Kids need to have maps.
I agree. I do agree. She was not totally wrong.
No, I mean, she may have phrased it wrong, but
just a little.
Just a little.
A bit.
So, I'm very curious. I'm a huge fan of media and just getting into the creative side of it. What was it about film and TV that you said, you know what, that's where I want to work?
Well, actually, I started as a ballet dancer. My mother was a prima ballerina with the Joffrey Ballet in New York City when she was a young, wee 18-year-old. But then she decided to go into physics and aeronautical engineering, and then met my father and had my sister and myself. And really, I had always just was attracted to the pictures of my mother as a dancer, and then started doing that. And one fateful day, someone was like, why don't you try something else? And I tried singing and then sort of transitioned into musical theater. And from musical theater, we sort of transitioned into film and TV later on, because I realized quickly that I wasn't going to be a Broadway performer or any type of performer, because I'm too much of a control freak.
Okay.
And want to be in control of everything. So I started producing and directing theater in college, and then started working at the Gersh Agency in New York City, because I was like, I need to learn about entertainment industry, because where I went to school, that wasn't something that they taught at all. And So I sort of got my crash course in everything entertainment at Gersh and was like, I want to be a producer.
Mm-hmm.
That's my dream. I want to be a producer. And then quickly what you have to realize is in order to be a producer, you need to produce things.
Right.
There are many people who are like, I want to be a producer and then never ever produce anything. But it's really, really important that you get out there and you make something happen because that's what a producer is.
Correct.
That literally is all our job description is to produce. There are no rules. I mean, there are plenty of rules. Let's be real. Like SAG and all that stuff has plenty of rules. But I mean, really, the rule is just get it done and make it happen.
Right.
And that's something that I love. I love getting out there and making it happen.
And under budget.
Always, but rarely.
Under budget and on time.
Exactly. Never. Never.
I
do it as possible.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's funny because my buddy of mine who, because I went to film school.
Oh, awesome.
And a buddy of mine, he just has the producer vibe, and I think he would thrive in that position. But right now, he's doing location manager stuff, and he's doing good in that. But awesome. I still think he would make a great producer.
I mean, just go, like, tell him to just go out and do it. Mm-hmm. That's what I was working, when I started working on my project Undergrads, which is premiering at the downtown LA Film Festival this Sunday. I was an assistant at a production company doing deliveries for a documentary. So, like, we just finished filming this documentary, and I was delivering it for the distributor. And I went to my friend's, like, tiny web series premiere in New York City with my best friend, Melissa. Mm-hmm. And we sat across from each other at dinner, and we're like, wait, so our friends just made this. So they just, like, did this, and they have jobs.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Why don't we do this? And so that's how Undergrads began. It was just us looking at it across the table at each other and being like, we're going to do this. And on weekends and in the evenings, we worked on the script with the writers, Aaron and Hubert, and then found a director in Zoe Robin, and we just, like, made it happen. And while I was working at Zucker Productions, halfway through production or, like, development of this project, I moved from New York to LA and started working for Jerry Zucker, the director of projects like Naked Gun and Ghost.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
And was working for him, and on my weekends, we produced Undergrads. Like, that's how we made it happen. Mm-hmm. It was crazy, and it shows that this is what you want to do. Right. You just have to find the time. Just make the time for yourself, and it works. It happens. It's crazy, and you want to jump off a cliff sometimes, but it's worth it.
Nice. I completely agree with you with the whole just do it portion. Being in Texas, I don't have access to a crew or anything like that, so I'm very much kind of just do it myself, which, you know.
I mean, that's great. I think that's totally valid. And in this day of, like, YouTube and even Snapchat and all that sort of Instagram stories and stuff like that, you can make this really tiny, small content and build it into a larger world.
Right.
Because that's definitely the next step, I think, for our industry, is this short form content and, like, telling stories in different ways through different mediums. It's just, like, the platforms are just expanding at a crazy, crazy, crazy rate. And I think there's only opportunity for us people who want to create content.
Right. And, you know, you were talking about, you know, short form content. I mean, it's kind of too bad Vine isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's I love it. I mean, I when I did Vine, it was always interesting to me to watch super hyper produced Vine videos because you got to cram a lot into 6 seconds. And it's unfortunate it's not a thing.
Yeah, I never created anything on Vine, but I was a huge consumer of it. Mm-hmm. And I was always confused of, like, what really happened, like, why it just decided to go away, like, why it went away.
Right. Yeah. Surprised. It's I think I have no idea. I don't know if Instagram had anything to do with it.
Bought it, maybe. I don't know.
I think because it was owned by Twitter, and Twitter just shut it down.
Yeah,
Nah. All right, so if you know, text me or email me, please.
Yeah, perfect. And you'll have to
Oh yeah. No, I'll get the word back to you. Don't worry.
Perfect.
And so I'm curious when I've talked to a lot of actors, a lot of writers, but when it comes to producing, what is the thing you look for in a script that you say, this is what I'm going to spend my, however much time on?
Well, Undergrads took 2 years, so it can be upwards of 2 to 3 years
Yeah.
to get something to happen. At my company, Mookie Entertainment, I look for things that speak to me and speak to, I think, the future of what people are going to be going through. So projects that really spike my interest are these sort of like millennial problems, or this idea of the millennial generation is now becoming the adults.
Right.
And we're almost incapable of being adults. Like, we've created all these sorts of things of delaying adulthood. Like, I remember when like 30 used to be like, you're 30, you're an adult, you own a house, you have a family.
Right.
And now, like, I think that's being pushed back later and later. So I'm seeing all these different types of things in the millennial generation of what it means for us to become the adults. That's something that really spikes my interest. I also really love and respond to everything in the from a female voice. I was raised by 3 incredibly strong women, if not more. It was my sister, myself, and my mother were like the core group. And we hung out together all the time. My sister and my mom are 2 of my best friends, and we were always together. My dad was there too, but it was like the 3 of us.
Right.
And so I really understand that sort of female experience. So every project I've worked on, except for one, has been directed and starred women. I also, because I'm a gay man, I respond to a lot of gay content and how that I like to reveal the truth of what gay life is to straight people. Like, one of my projects that I'm just finishing right now, or finishing post probably next week, is called Femme, and it's about what it means to be a feminine gay man. And in the gay world, being a femme gay man is like being the ugly stepsister, where you're looked down upon. And I think that's something that women and gay men have in common, is that femininity is not desirable. It's sort of pushed to the side, and people want to be mask for mask and like masculine, and yeah. So that sort of stuff really speaks to me. But really, when it comes down to it, if the script has a really strong voice, an interesting story, I'm down. I'm totally story driven and obsessed. But if it has a good message, I'm there too.
Okay. Now, this is my own curiosity. So femininity is looked down upon?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I know, I didn't realize that most straight people didn't realize this, but when I'm sure you've heard of the app called Grindr.
Yes, yeah.
All that sort of stuff. So if you ever get the chance, have a gay friend show it to you and go on there, and you can look at these profiles, and literally out in the open on these people's profiles, they say, no femmes, no fats, no Asians, no blacks, no Mexicans.
Jeez.
Like, out in the open. Like, this is not like in a message they say this. This is on a profile.
Okay.
Saying, so sorry, if you're a feminine man, I don't want to speak to you.
Oh.
It's like the gay ideal basically is to be a straight person, but who likes to have gay sex.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very blatant, and it's something that I find really interesting. And I didn't realize that people outside of my community didn't see it. So I felt like it was something that we needed to talk about. And so Corey Campercioli, my amazing, amazing friend, who's also in Undergrads, came up with this concept, and I was like, let's do this. And it's such an emotional story that comes from his real life, but it's also so funny because it's such a ridiculous sort of thing. Why is femininity such a problem?
Right. This is very interesting to me, just because I never knew that. So I'm curious in this project too.
Well, it will be finished October 1st, and we just submitted to Sundance, and we're submitting to a bunch of other festivals. So hopefully you can have me come back when we're premiering, and we can talk further about it. It's such a great project. It hits so close to home for me.
Gotcha.
And it's such an emotional story.
Gotcha. But so let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
I was asking you, what attracts you to a project. Now, in your opinion, what is the perfect movie you've seen?
Oh my God. This is like one of those questions they ask at the beginning of like a film school class.
Exactly.
What's your name and where are you from and what's your favorite movie?
Yeah, okay, so while you're thinking, I'm going to tell a story. The same buddy who I think would be a really great producer, when was asked this question, he said Uncle Buck. And
Okay.
you know what? Uncle Buck's a great movie. I'm not going to argue with that. But the teacher argued with him about why in the hell you would choose Uncle Buck over all the movies in the world. And he was just he got all quiet, and I felt bad for him.
I mean, yeah, that's a strong choice, but it really says something about you, and that's what I like about this sort of question.
Yeah.
Is it tells what kind of person you are. I would say one of the most perfect movies I've ever seen that's so fun and interesting and has such an interesting message is Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Okay.
I don't know if it's perfect, but that's why I think it's perfect, is because it's a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
It's like rough around the edges, but it has this message about strong women and this ridiculous plot of being in this beauty pageant and someone killing people just to win this small town beauty pageant.
Right.
And it has such an amazing cast, like Kirstie Alley and Denise Richards and Amy Adams and Kirsten Dunst, and just like everybody's in it, and it's so wonderful and so funny. It's one of these movies that always sticks with me. I mean, I have plenty of other ones. Like my answers when you're in school just to be like, I'm really cool, is always like, what? I always say Little Miss Sunshine, which also is a very, very perfect movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that one's like universally well known and perfect. And then I say things like Miyazaki's My Neighbor Totoro.
Uh-huh.
They're one of my favorite ones.
You see, I'm not afraid of disappointing anybody, so I'll say The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh, nice.
I'm just like,
okay.
40-Year-Old Virgin. You know what? That movie opened my eyes to how to write a movie.
It was well written. It's really well written, and Steve Carell was amazing. I mean, like that's basically what launched Steve Carell's career. That and The Office.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, no, when people ask me on a favorite movie, I'll go obscure. I don't give a crap.
I like it.
It's my movie, not yours. So get out of my face. I'm not that mean. So if you now again, if you could have produced any movie in existence, which one would you have loved to have produced?
Tootsie.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Tootsie. I would have loved to have been involved in Tootsie.
Yeah.
I think it's such a good one. I mean, also I went to the Peter Stark program at USC, which is run by Larry Terman, one of the producers of that movie. And it's such an incredible movie. And I would have loved to have been on set for that film.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen Tootsie in a while, but now I'm just having flashbacks. Yeah, that's a great choice.
Dustin Hoffman as a woman, it's amazing. Like I would love it.
And so, did you want to talk about? You mentioned earlier that you have a comedy. It's a pilot.
It is.
Okay.
So it's a web series called Undergrads that's premiering this Sunday at 4:50 at Regal Cinemas LA Live downtown in the Downtown Los Angeles Film Festival. It's basically a story of two young women who are in their sophomore year of college, first ever apartment that they have to share with their two worst frenemies, trying to life hack their way through college.
Mm-hmm.
And we're premiering the first mini webisode there on Sunday, and then the rest of the two rest of the episodes, because there's three, will be launching on YouTube that following day, so next Monday. And it's a lot of fun. It's sort of in the same vein as Broad City and Workaholics, where there's like these sort of magical elements of absurdity.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. I got to make it with two of my best friends from when we were really young and did community theater together, Melissa Lehman and Stephanie Shu. Stephanie Shu is actually currently in the Broadway cast of SpongeBob the Musical. And we just got to have a lot of fun. It was one of the most fun times I've ever had on set. Yeah, and we actually just found out that we won 4 different awards at the Best Shorts competition, Best TV Pilot, Best Web Series, Best Leading Actress for Stephanie, and Best Supporting for Melissa. And it's been so incredible that this project is starting to take off, because this was the first one I've ever done. This was my like opus, where I was like, I'm going to produce something and this is it. And it's like my baby.
Yeah.
And it's going out into the world. And I'm excited, so excited to see what the people's reaction is going to be.
Nice. And it not only is it nice that you got your baby made, but also, I mean, you're getting all these awards. That's awesome.
It's crazy. It's like, well, you know, there's also those like stories of where you submit it and you just get no's.
Right.
One after the other after the other. And it just sort of, it's all about persistence. If I have one thing to say to young producers who are feeling downtrodden when their first thing goes out there and nothing happens, that is very much real life. And you just have to keep going, because the first year of submitting this, I just got no's, a whole bunch of no's. Some great like maybes, but just a lot of no's. And now it's finally getting to hear yeses, and it feels awesome.
Yeah, so just hang in there, and if you have a gem, then you know the right people will see it.
Also, believe in it.
Yeah.
Believe in your project. Just because someone says no doesn't mean it isn't worth something. It just means that they don't see it, and that's not the person to work with.
Right. Believe
in yourself and believe in what you have. I mean, also go out and start making other things, because you can't hold all your hopes on one thing.
Right.
But believe in yourself. Always, always, always bet on yourself, because it's going to come back, because who else do you got?
There you go. There you go. For the people at home who would like to keep in contact with everything you do, as well as the projects you do, where can they keep up with that?
Well, they can keep up with my projects at mookientertainment.com, which is MOOKI entertainment.com. And they can keep up with me, which has a lot of what I'm doing on Instagram at JBR4. That's my Instagram title. And we're going to be creating all this different type of social media for undergrads once it starts launching. So if you want to keep looking at my Instagram and mookientertainment.com, then you'll be seeing all those updates. And you'll get to see Femme and where it's going. And as well as I just produced a theatrical show this last summer in the Los Angeles Fringe Festival called The ABCs, which is being turned into a full-length feature film, my first full-length. And that's going to be up there as well, so you can keep up with everything that's going on with us.
Nice. Well, I would wish you luck, but honestly, I feel like you're on your way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you don't need luck. You got everything you need.
I try. I do my very, very best. I'm very good at looking like a duck, where everything on the surface is fine and everything underneath is just a hot ass.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me and chatting with me. And like I said, anytime you want to come back, just let me know. All right.
Thanks so much, Chris. This was wonderful.
I'm so glad you had a wonderful time. Now I feel like I have to stop talking and let you go produce something. You're gonna go produce dinner. I don't know what you're always producing.
Yeah, well, that's the job. You just always gotta go.
But you have a wonderful day. All right.
Okay, you too.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye-bye.